With everything that's going on in the year 2025, including Three Eye Atlas and alleged UFO sightings all across the world, now we have even more things to be concerned about. This latest headline out of the New York Post, UFO Tracker, shows thousands of eerie underwater objects lurking along the US coast. Like many of you, I was shocked to even know we have a UFO tracker. You can actually download certain apps, okay, in the Google Play Store and the App Store that'll help you track alleged UFOs. Now, one of the crazier parts of the story is they actually released what was tracked and where it was found. This is a chart of the east coast of the United States. Take a look at how many objects, unidentified objects, are under the water lurking all up the east coast of the United States of America. Is all this talk now starting to add up because of the alleged arrival of Three Eye Atlas at the end of the month? There are so many unanswered questions, but the one thing I want you to keep in the back of your mind, as I say in all my videos, please take this as entertainment purposes only. This is for entertainment purposes only, because like I said, it may be reported in the news or all over social media, but no one has come out and officially confirmed any of this information. So I guess my question to you is, do you think this is just another distraction? Or is it something we need to be concerned with? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always,
Hey, Shalom. Let's start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Demayim in Atlanta. And this story right here, the UFO tracker showing thousands of underwater UFOs. This was posted in the group by the elder brother Barzal, where he posted a screenshot of the New York Post article. And I found this video from there, but these things are being talked about more and more. That being the chariots of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which this world calls UFOs. They're being talked about more and more, from things like this with the thousands of underwater objects, which I thought that map showing the East Coast was kind of cool, because we remember not too long ago there were those New Jersey drones and all those New Jersey sightings. So it kind of gave some credence to that. But also there's the Three Eye Atlas that's been all the talk for the last month or 2 months or so. And that coming this way, as well as just the government actually acknowledging that the chariots exist. They're not calling them the chariots, obviously. They're calling them UAPs, but the fact that there's just more and more talk about that, it's great, because it's prophecy. Because Yahweh Shai is going to return in these chariots to basically destroy this world, to conquer this world. And it's one of the ways that Babylon the Great is going to go out. It's one of the ways that the time of the Gentiles is going to go out. It's going to be through the chariots of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. With his fire and with his chariots, he's going to conquer this place. In which, we'll go there first. Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, "For behold, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, will come with fire and with his chariots." And these chariots are what the world calls UAPs or UFOs. It says like a whirlwind, and sometimes they're even called a whirlwind. Sometimes they're called chariots. Sometimes they're called clouds within the scripts. So in Revelation chapter 1, when it says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him," it's talking about so-called UFOs or UAPs. But here's just another example of it. "And with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire." He's going to come with his chariots, and They're going to be shooting fire onto these people. It's one of the ways this place is going to receive fire. The other way is through nukes, which chariots are going to do a lot of damage in these end days. It says, "For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh." So judge. He's going to judge all flesh. "And the slain of the Lord shall be many." People say, quote unquote, the JC guy, that he's coming back with his arms spread open, love in his arms, and it's all gumdrops and rainbows and all these sweet things. No, this is how the Bible describes it. "And the slain of the Lord shall be many," because the Lord loves everybody. Just being facetious. No, he's coming back angry, and he's going to put down all rule, power, and authority. And that's what we of the hopeful elect want. We want Yahushua to return and put down the current rulers that be, the powers that be. I think that was Psalm 68. Yeah, Psalm 68, because that article claimed thousands of underwater chariots. So let's back it up in the scriptures. Psalm 68 and 17. "The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place." So there are thousands of sightings of underwater UAPs or objects, as it said. And that's biblical. There are thousands of chariots. And they're making their presence known. The Lord said he's going to let them enter into the house of the thief, and they're going to remain in the house of the thief. This is Zechariah 5, and we'll start at 1, but we're going to skip down to 4. Zechariah 5 and 1. "Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and behold, Salakia. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll." That flying roll is a chariot of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. What else would you describe as being a flying roll? Do you think he just looked up and he saw a dinner roll flying through the air? No, these are those clouds. These are those chariots. This is just another description for it. But skipping down to 4. Actually, we're going to read it straight through. Verse 2. "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits." So he's describing the size of it. It says, "Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. This earth is going to be invaded with the chariots of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And we are watching the beginnings of it. The governments are acknowledging it. There's actually articles talking about it. And everybody's eyes are on 3i Atlas to see what that is, which we will see. It could be Esau's Project Bluebeam or some trick that he's got up his sleeve. Or it could be the chariots of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, in which we do know that no man knows the day or hour, but they're putting out dates for this thing, so that makes me skeptical of it. But we will see. We will see what happens, because we do know it's prophetic for this place to be invaded. "Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, and it is indeed a curse." It's salvation and deliverance for the hopeful elect, but for everybody else, this is a curse. It says the slain of the Lord will be many. This is one of the ways he's going to slay you, through these chariots. It says, "For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it." Speaking straight to the Edomites. Everywhere they live is stolen, and they swear many, many lies within this world. It says, "I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies. So he's going to bring his armies. And it says, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, the house of Esau. That main house being here in Babylon the Great, aka America. And America actually has the most UFO sightings of all the other countries in this world, because this is the house of the thief. And this is where the prey is. This is where the Israelites are, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as are scattered. And this is also the great place of deliverance. And likewise, it's the great place of destruction for Esau, Edom. He that stealeth a man and selleth him, if he be found in his hand, he shall be put to death. That's coming for you, Esau. Esau, Edom being so-called white man, including the tiny toppers, who are in the Lord's land, calling themselves the Lord's people. The Lord has an issue with them. He's got a bone to pick with them. And we're at the end of their time to rule. He says, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And you have to swear into the Bible in court, or swear onto the Bible. And it says, and it shall remain in the midst of his house. All these UFO trackers are picking up the chariots of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And there are remaining here. As I said, this is the place of the most UFO sightings, chariot sightings. And it says, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. It says, for by fire and by his chariots. The Lord's coming with that fire. He's going to bring it. I'm going to end off here. 2nd Esdras 13 and verse 1. Well, the point's in 3. And it says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And this isn't speaking of the Atlantic Ocean or the Mediterranean Sea. This is speaking of space, outer space, the Shemayims. They're also referred to as waters. It says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And I thought this was very fitting. It says he came from the sea. It just talked about we made the point. It's talking about the heavens, about outer space. But it's great to have it described as the sea, because that article or that clip we just saw talked about the underwater eerie objects. It said underwater, and it said thousands of them. And right here in verse 3, and it says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is coming back soon to deliver his people, to save his people out of the hand of their enemies. And the enemies are going to be put down via these chariots. With his fire and with his sword will he plead with all flesh. He's going to judge these people through the nuclear missiles and through the chariots of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.